game. Don't let these tears fool you. There's all dog around this mug. I'm good.
The New Orleans Saints? Overrated?
Oh, my God.
I mean, that's what the national media is saying about the black and gold. They're saying in 2023, the New Orleans Saints are going to fall short.
Oh, my God.
You know, this is a topic that a lot of people wanted me to discuss. And shouts out to everybody that emailed me, wanted to get my take about what I feel about these predictions by Peter King, these predictions by Nick Wright. What is going on? Why aren't they giving the Saints the respect that they deserve? Why are they not putting the respect on the New Orleans Saints name? Well, let me count the ways. Let's go ahead and start with an article that I checked out, and this is from Saints Wire. They're saying that the NFL Power Ranking Roundup Week 1, Saints hit with low expectations. That is what they're saying here on Saints Wire. They're also saying that, and I quote, it says the Saints have the best quarterback in the division, but outside of Derek Carr and the receiver Chris Olave, there's nothing that I love about them. Their defense put up fantastic numbers last season, but it was largely against cupcake offenses. 6 games in the NFC South will help that out a lot. That'll be in the playoff race because of their weak division, but no one in their right mind believes the Saints are a threat to make a deep playoff run. Well, let me just say this. If you look at the NFC, if you look at it, right? Let's go ahead and talk about Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts is the class. Then you got, I don't know, just a bunch of randos that's going on around the NFC. Like, there are no world-beating quarterbacks in the NFC, and that includes Jalen Hurts. Like, I like Jalen Hurts a lot, but that was 1 year production. He has to replicate that year after year after year in order for me to consider him in the same conversation as a Josh Allen, in the same conversation as a Patrick Mahomes. If you look around the NFC, who do you look at and say, hey, the Saints can't beat? Now, the 49ers and the Eagles are the teams that they prop up, and you'll sprinkle a little cowboy up in there. But none of those teams that I feel the Saints cannot beat. If you look at the San Francisco 49ers last season, they didn't destroy the Saints. They lost 13-0. And if you look at the Philadelphia Eagles, they won that game, even though Jalen Hurts didn't play. But if the Saints weren't built a certain way, somebody please tell me, how were they able to compete at all? And it's amazing to me how the national media at the beginning of the offseason was talking about Derek Carr, how Derek Carr can lead a team to the Super Bowl as long as it's the Jets. He can lead a team to the Super Bowl as long as it's the Patriots. He can lead a team to the Super Bowl as long as that team can lead off on ESPN's First Take or Fox Sports 1's Undisputed. Give me a freaking break. How is it that those teams can survive? Even though, if you look at the Giants, I mean, they made the playoffs, but let's just be honest. Those boys been trash for the last 3 to 4 years. And then you got the Jets, right? They show a little bit of promise, but they haven't done nothing since Mark Sanchez was the quarterback. And that's not saying much at all. So how is it that Derek Carr can come to a team that has a top 10 defense, a team that has seasoned veterans with a combination of a really good draft class over the last couple of years combined? How is it that this guy cannot make a run to playoffs, but you're trying to feed me the Jets if he were to sign with the Jets? You're trying to feed me with some of those other teams that need a quarterback, and all of a sudden he's their savior. But now that he's with the lowly Saints, not a big market team, not a team that's appealing, not a team that's headlining all of these talking head shows. Now, all of a sudden, the Saints aren't good enough to make the postseason. Well, let me tell you something. You only can play the teams that they put on your schedule. So regardless to what the New Orleans Saints have on their schedule, if they beat them, that makes them a playoff team. I don't understand why. Well, yes, I do. I understand why they're going at the New Orleans Saints. I get it, right? Dennis Allen. Dennis Allen is the common denominator here. He is the reason why nobody believes in the Saints. He is the reason why nobody is picking the Saints to make a deep run in the playoffs. If this was Sean Payton and Derek Carr signed with the Saints, we would not be having this conversation. Hell, if John Gruden would be able to get a job again and the Saints sign him, we would not be having this conversation. This is a knock on Dennis Allen. That is why I said on the first episode on the HNSN network of the State of the Saints podcast, everybody is looking at Dennis Allen. What will Dennis Allen do? Will he be able to coach this team to prosperity? Will he be able to stop wallowing in ineptitude as a head coach and get to prosperity? That is the question. And that is why the New Orleans Saints are continuing to get the low end of the stick. You cannot tell me that you just look around and say, oh, man, well, you got Derek Carr and then you got Chris Olave. The Saints are talented. I mean, is Alvin Kamara still there? I mean, let's just be real. Alvin Kamara is the same Alvin. But how many screen passes did you see last season? But this is coming from individuals that don't know the Saints. These are individuals that don't follow the team. They only follow Cliff Notes. And like I said, the Saints have a reputation of years of ineptitude, years of failure. So they don't fall into that realm of prosperity. They don't fall into the realm of the Cowboys who can fail over and over and over again and become a Super Bowl contender every single year. Where they do that at? All I'm saying is, folks, I'm telling you this. These people, these talking heads, don't know what the hell they're talking about. They do not understand what the New Orleans Saints have done. They do not understand the defense of this team. They do not understand the athletic ability of the upgrades that they had this offseason. And I have to say to you, Who Dat Nation, let them talk. Let them run their mouth. Let them say all the things that they want to say. And let's see them moonwalk like Michael Jackson at the 25th Motown anniversary when they're wrong. Because you know they're not going to come on TV and say, man, I was wrong about that. You look around the NFC. Tell me, outside of the Eagles and the 49ers, who you are afraid of watching the Saints play. And that was so disrespectful when they were talking about the defense of last year. Give me a freaking break. I mean, could you imagine what this team would have really looked like if they didn't have a defense? They averaged 19 points a game. And miss me with that stuff about, oh, they play some cupcake teams. Were the Eagles a cupcake team? Were the 49ers a cupcake team? What about the Bengals? What about the Vikings? Cupcake. The teams that I just named were the top teams in the NFC going into the playoffs. The 49ers and the Eagles, they were clashing it out in the NFC Championship game for the right to represent the NFC in the freaking Super Bowl. What the hell are you talking about? Whew. So whoever wrote that article, I get what you're doing. Controversy creates cash. Hell, controversy created this episode. But give me a freaking break. The New Orleans Saints are just as much of a contender as any other team in the NFC, and you can take that to the bank. But I would love to hear from you. What do you all think about some of these discrepancies when it comes to these schedules? Do you think that the Saints are a playoff team? I can think of 10 wins just right off the bat. But comment down below, like and share this video. Thank you so much for checking out the State of the Saints podcast. And before I go, I got some really good news. Yours truly, TJay Jones, I will be doing a live stream Week 1, Saints versus Tennessee Titans on Bleacher Report. That's right, on Bleacher Report. I will be doing a live stream, man. I mean, I'm just completely just overwhelmed, man. Shouts out to Justin at Bleacher Report. Reached out to me today, asked me about the opportunity. And man, I'm blessed. I'm absolutely blessed. And I'm looking forward to it, man. And looking forward to all the great things coming up this season when it comes to the State of the Saints podcast being on HNSN. Make sure you download that app. And also just the State of the Saints podcast YouTube channel and covering Coastal Carolina, and all these other things I got going, man. But thank you all so much for allowing this to be possible. Without you all, there would be no opportunities, and I really appreciate it from the bottom of my heart. Make sure you check out previous episodes on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Anchor FM, and follow me on X at TJay Jones 8. Till next time, all I got to say is, who dat?